everybody, ADJackson330 here, and today I'm filming another tutorial using the Canva website, which I will link in the description below. Vision boards are really trendy right now in the planner community, especially as dashboards for traveler's notebooks, so I wanted to share how you can make one of your own. I love that you can make a gorgeous mood board to fit any theme you can think of. You can use your own photos, use quotes, purchase stock photos, look for free downloads, or even use digital art. A lot of people use photos directly from Pinterest, and that is not a debate I'm going to get into in this video because the topic of personal use versus copyright violation gets very heated very quickly. Canva has a licensing section on their website where you can read more about the free versus paid photos that they offer. Now, with that said, let's get started with the tutorial. Alright, so obviously the first thing you want to do is bring up the Canva website and create a new design. So they have lots of templates available, but for a custom dimension, you're going to click that button right up at the top right-hand corner and set it to inches. For a B6 traveler's notebook, that's going to be 5 by 7, but you can Google to find out whatever dimensions you need for the planner size that you use. Now, when it opens up the new page, it should already be on the layout section. So then you're just going to scroll through and find a layout that you like that suits your needs. I found one that had an even mix of vertical versus horizontal layouts, which was perfect. I think that'd be a good mix of photos I can use. And then you want to go to the Elements tab, and they have a ton of free photos and illustrations that you can use if you want it to be more cartoony versus more realistic, totally up to you. So I'm going to use the search bar, and I'm going to make an autumn-themed mood board. So if you look right underneath the search bar, you will see 3 sections, all photos and illustrations. I want my mood board to be more realistic, so I am going to use just the photo section. However, if you like more doodly clip art types, then go to illustrations and they are right there, easily accessible for you. So I entered autumn into the search bar, but because I don't want my entire mood board to be just leaves, I do have another list of words that are all autumn themed just to help me get a wider selection of photos to work with at the top, because all of these at the top of autumn, they're really pretty, but they're kind of just leaves. So I'm also wanting to look for pumpkins, boots, sweaters, scarves, coffee, books, all of the things that would fit into an autumn mood board. And I really enjoy making mood boards. It doesn't matter what the theme is, what it's for. I love finding things that fit together well and make an overall aesthetic just come together. And the great thing about this kind of collage layout is that you can really play around with it. You can switch the photos out, play with the placement, and really get it to fit your specific needs for whatever theme it is you're going for. And if you're like me and you're very indecisive, this is a great tool. The Canva website is so easy to use, and if I find more photos that I like than will fit in this particular collage, I can switch the layout to fit in more photos, or, make 2, 3, 4 more, however many I want, and just stuff my planner full of vision dashboards. And I really love Pinterest. I have a ton of mood boards saved on there, so this is a fun way to get a physical version of that in my planner instead of, like the old days, cutting out magazine photos and pasting them on a poster board, which is still a great way to go if you want to do that, but this is a little bit more customizable. So this first vision board that I'm going to be saving and printing out is just going to be your very basic photos only collage layout. So, there are tons of things that you can add to it, but for this one I want to keep it simple. So I want to make sure that all the photos go together well, that they are my style and fit the theme. And if you know me, you know that I need coffee. It is a necessity, not only for me, but for my planner also. Gotta have all the coffee elements. Now, if you put a photo in and it's not centered the way you want it, all you have to do is click that specific photo to move it around, recenter it, resize it, and then click the check mark to save it in that spot. Then you can save it under whatever name you want. I'm going to use Fall Dash and click Save, and then move over to the Download button that is 2 spots over from the name section, and then it has a couple of different options. And since I am ready to print it like it is, I am going to choose PDF Print and Download, which will then open up the loading section and then open up a new window on my desktop showing me the final product. And then once that is saved, it's taken just a minute, you are ready to print it out, and it should print directly on a size 5 by 7. So if you have 5 by 7 cardstock or photo paper, great way to print it out. If not, print it out on your regular size 8.5 by 11 inch paper, and then just cut it out with your scissors or your paper cutters. That's what I use to get the straight lines, and that's it for the simple version. But if you would like to add more details, maybe some text, some quotes, monograms, whatever it is, then let's go into that. So I'm going to start by adding a shape, and I'm going to use this square. I chose to go with the one that had the straight edges versus the round edges because of the rectangles that have the straight edges already on the photos. So then you just size it however you want, and this one is a black background for now. I'm going to try and center it over the box that I want to put a quote on, and I'm going to adjust the transparency so that you can see the quote really well, but you can also still see the photo in the background. And then I'm going to use the color picker tool in the top left-hand corner of the design screen to adjust the color of the shape. I wanted to go with kind of a more orangish beige color to fit the theme better. Adjust the transparency one more time to get it just right. And then we're going to go to the text tab, which is over on the very far left-hand side of the screen. And they do have a few preset templates, as you can see, like where it says farm to table, brunch, dazzle, all of those. So you can use those if you choose. I just clicked the add the subheading and then typed in my quote. But you can add whatever you want here, your Instagram handle, your name, a big monogram. And then you just adjust the color of it, the size, if you want it bold or italic. And they have a lot of font options for you to choose from too. So play around with those, give a few a try, and see what works best. Now this can be hard if you're a perfectionist like me and wants everything to look just so. That's why it's taken me a minute, because I kind of want to play around with all of the different options, make sure I'm picking the right color to pop, the right font to look right. So it's a process for sure, but that's the great thing about it, is you don't have to pick something that doesn't fit for you. You can make it exactly how you want it, down to the last detail. And doing it for free is just the cherry on top. I am all about finding free resources to make my planner pretty. And the next thing I'm going to play around with is trying to see if I can find a good place for an initial on here. Now I'll drag it around to the different boxes, but as you can see, there are some boxes where it's just too busy, it's too much on there, or you can't find the right color to make the initial pop to where it's actually readable and stands out. And sometimes you just have to scrap it, which is why there is a delete button in the far right hand corner. You can also just click delete on your keyboard if you find an element that you tried, gave it your best shot, but it's just not working for you. Since the initial didn't work out very well, I'm going to attempt finding a good place for my Instagram handle, which I probably use more than my actual monogram now that I think about it. And since we're on the subject, I will not so subtly point out that there's a link to my Instagram account in the description below. I'd love it if you follow me over there. I post all of my planner and stationery photos. I do a lot of planner enabling over there, and I love finding new accounts to follow for planner inspiration and expanding the creative community, which is so much fun to be a part of. And back to the tutorial, I'm going to now adjust the color of the text, and I'm going to make it white, which I'm hoping will help make the text pop and also bring out the whiteness of the shoes and the book that's in the bottom rectangle. And that covers the text portion of this tutorial. So now we're going to move into how to tie in elements into your vision board. First, we're going to start off with a clean slate, so we're going to delete that top text and the top background shadow. And then if you look at the very far left of your screen, directly above the text option is the Elements tab. And as you can see here, you have shapes, lines, icons, illustrations, all of that. We're going to click on Lines to start with. And again, lots of options for these. You can use these lines for borders or for dividers. However, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom and use one of the swirlies that I've found. And I'm going to adjust the color of that and the transparency, and then play around with the placement to see where it fits the best. All of these elements are a great way to pack in some fun extra touches to your vision board. So if you want to add text, elements, icons, and lines to every single square or rectangle, that is totally up to you. I tend to prefer the more basic ones that are simple and to the point with just the photos usually, maybe text here or there. But we're going to cover it all in this tutorial so that you really know how to make it your own. Now if you look on that little white toolbar right above the design area, there is a copy button which allows you to duplicate whatever element or text box you want. Then you can rotate it upside down, which I kind of just made a mirror image of it to put in the top and the bottom corners of this vision board. And now I am going to play with some vertical lettering, just going to go very simple with the word fall and layer it on top of one of the image boxes. And then, sorry, I know this part is repetitive, but it's something that's going to be repeated with probably every element. Just adjusting the font, the size, and the placement of it all. Deciding that it doesn't look exactly how I pictured in my head, so using that handy dandy trash can button on the white toolbar to remove it and move on to something else. And next up, we're going to take a look at the different clip arts and illustrations that they offer. Now you can browse through all of them via the Elements tab, or you can use the search bar at the top to type in what you are specifically looking for, and then going over to the illustration section. And as you can see, they have some really cute autumn-themed clip arts, so I am going to choose one of the leaf options and shrink that down to size and play around with the placement on that for a minute. And these elements would also look really good layered on top of digital papers versus real photos. If you didn't know, if you pre-order the Villa Beautiful monthly kit, she includes a ton of digital art and papers with every kit that matches. So I'm really looking forward to getting the fall kit digitals and playing around with those and making another fall dashboard to fit that kit as well. There are also quite a few websites where you can find free downloads for digital paper, and if you look on the left-hand side of the screen, there's an upload button, so you can upload that and save it to your Canva gallery and use those anytime you want, which is awesome because then you just have a larger selection to pull from whenever you're designing. And once you're done designing and you have all of your elements and text and photos how you like them, then you're ready to do the same as we did with the simple version at the beginning of this video and download it to your computer so that you can print, cut it out, and slap it in your planner. I've already made a few more of these, a winter themed one, a cozy themed one, and they are just so much fun to make and find the different elements that fit together well. So I hope that you do try it, and if you do, please give me a tag over on Instagram so I can see it too. If you have any questions about anything that I covered in this video, or if you have a video request for me, please leave all of that in the comments below and I will try to get back to you just as soon as I can. And since I covered all of the text elements and icons and lines, I am now going to remove those from mine because I like the simple version better. I'm going to leave the Instagram handle on there and then print this out for my planner. Thank y'all so much for watching. Bye!